Welcome to episode 309 of the AM/PM podcast. Today we're coming to you from the Sail and Scale Summit that happened last week in Las Vegas. An amazing event over 4 days. You know, on the first day, we had a Helium 10 Elite workshop. So before the summit began, we invited all the Helium 10 Elite members to come for a special afternoon where we had some awesome speakers, some great networking. And what I did is I just grabbed a handful of people as they were coming in and out of the room and did a quick little interview with them and asked them to share a quick little nugget and something of value with you. So that's what I want to share with you today. Enjoy this episode. And don't forget, if you are not a Helium 10 Elite member, there's going to be a webinar on November 3rd. And there's going to be a webinar where we're going to be sharing a whole bunch of hacks totally for free. This is a free webinar that'll be for everybody out there. So it's coming on November 3rd. Look for a promotion or a post in the Facebook groups about that. And I hope that you're able to join us on that free webinar where we're going to talk about Helium 10 Elite and share some really cool strategies. But in the meantime, enjoy this episode.
Welcome to the AM/PM podcast. Welcome to the AM/PM podcast, where we explore opportunities in e-commerce.
We dream big and we discover what's working right now.
Plus, this is the podcast where money never sleeps, working around the clock in the AM and the PM.
Are you ready for today's episode?
I said, are you ready? Let's do this. Here's your host, Kevin King. Kevin King.
What's up, everybody? I'm here with Alina Vlaic at the Sail and Scale Summit. She just came wandering by. We're getting ready to do the Helium 10 Elite training. It's like a 4-hour training. You're speaking at this, right?
Yes.
At the Helium 10 Elite thing.
Yeah.
And are you speaking at the main event as well?
Yes, as well.
Awesome. So what are you hoping to see at this event? It looks like it's going to be a pretty big event.
I love it. The whole thing. I think it's going to be great. I love the fact that the booth hall is very small and compact, so people can actually talk. I love the fact that I'm seeing a lot of sellers. I think it's gonna be like very educational, and a lot of people, beginners and advanced, are gonna have a lot of stuff to learn and meet people. Networking is the most important thing.
Now you come a long way for this. You come all the way from Romania, right?
After just getting back 3 weeks ago.
Is it a direct flight to Las Vegas, or do you have to go through London, or how do you have to usually go?
There was a direct flight, but I had some stuff to do in Chicago, so I landed in Chicago 2 days ago and then flew here. But from here, I'm going back home directly.
Wow. Awesome. So what? Tell people what you do. I mean, you're a seller, plus you do some services. Tell everybody what's Alina all about.
So Alina is all about selling. We've been selling on Amazon and Walmart. We own multiple brands. When I say we, it's me and my husband. And also,
you've been doing that for how long?
We started playing with it in 2017, but actually started doing it in 2018, beginning in Europe, and then we moved to Amazon.com, which is the real thing, and got messed up big time. Our first product, which is how AZRank was born, actually. AZRank was my first agency. It's still there. It's my first agency. We used to do ranking. We still do ranking, but...
What do you mean by ranking?
That's a tricky question.
What do you mean by ranking?
Yeah, so ranking...
So you can talk about the old and
the new,
how
yes.
things are having to change.
Yeah, things have changed a lot. So we used to do this search, find, buy, and consulting sellers on what keywords to choose and stuff like that.
How did that work? So someone that's just listening, like, I've heard of this search, find, buy.
Oh, okay.
How did that actually used to work?
So for your product to go high in ranks on Amazon or whatever other marketplace, you need to be on page one, right? So in order to be on page one, you need to create some demand and to show Amazon or whatever marketplace that your product is good. So then we'd have some people searching for a specific keyword, finding your product among everything else, and then choosing it to buy. And through those purchases, you got ranked. It's basically what every person does when they go shopping, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the normal thing. Now,
and so your company helps people.
Yes, our company
facilitate
that through helping them choose what keywords to go for, because a lot of people are uneducated for that, and also we have the pool of people and the ways of doing that safely and nice with very good results. We had until now I have more than 5,000 launches.
And you actually, through that process, you helped like Helium 10 actually come up with the formula that they use for how many you need
Yes,
in Cerebro,
the new CPR. Yes,
the new CPR. You helped do big testing for like a year or something around that, right?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years to figure out.
There was a lot of data.
This is the formula that is closest to what you really need.
Exactly. Yes.
And so then last year in 2021, Amazon said, no more of this.
It's kind of, let's just say they said no more because of certain specific things, not the whole process. That's the way I see it. But certain specific things like rebates, for example, rebate key story is gone. So they shut out a lot of stuff, including links and super URLs that people used to use. So because of that, we had to pivot and we had to change the whole thing, the way we do it. So now we found a workaround, but I'm a very honest person. I'm not going to tell you we reinvented the wheel. We just found some workarounds to be safe. We're not doing rebates now. We're just paying people for their services. People are doing surveys, which is very complex and very good. For example, you are in my pool of people. I'm not telling you what keyword to go after. I'm letting you choose, or I'm giving you no keyword at all. So it's not search term manipulation. I'm not directing you towards straight a specific keyword. And then after that, I'm going to ask you a ton of questions about the listing. Do you like the photos? What photo do you like? Why do you like the photos? Which photo do you like best? Do you think there's another photo? What do you improve about this product? But the listing itself. So each person spends a whole big amount of time and a different amount of time on the listing.
So it's a ton of feedback you're getting.
Ton of feedback. I've got sellers completely changing their listings after that feedback, because 90% of the people said your main photo sucks and your third one is the one I like best. So then he took the third photo, put it there, and conversion increased a lot of facts, or suggestions for colors, for variations. I don't like this. This pink sucks. You should do the other pink, or you should do the green, or stuff like that. So that's a ton of feedback they get along with the ranking. But the thing is, I was always an advocate for this, even when the classical search fund buy was in place. I don't do one keyword. I didn't like the campaigns with one keyword. Sellers going on the main keyword. I always recommend you do 5 keywords, slower, lower volume maybe, or even all big ones at the same time, because with the same number of units, because bringing more traffic to bringing traffic and diversification to 5 keywords instead of 1, you're gonna get ranked on another 50 keywords. So it's like what Amazon likes: diversification, not just. I mean, in some niches, you need to go to certain keywords, but most of them, it works this way. So our campaigns actually work much better now after the TOS change, because I don't take campaigns for one keyword, so it has to be minimum 3.
So these are products that haven't been launched yet. So people have built their listing out and they're ready to launch it, and they come to you, to AZRank, or is it called something else?
AZRank. No, it's still AZRank, yeah.
So they come to AZRank and say, hey, I need some feedback. I want some people to give me some opinions on this. And then they do that, and they go buy the product to get the product. And then they give the feedback, and they give a big report. And then it's up to the seller whether you change the listing.
Yeah.
But because they're buying the product through the process, it starts the momentum going.
Exactly.
Where you're not just down on page 300. You start to show up and start to move up.
And very naturally.
And I'm not leaving reviews or anything like that. So it's all completely terms of service. All completely
terms of service. I always stayed away. People who are listening and worked with me know that I always say no to reviews.
Is that Is it expensive to do this? Is it depends on how does it work? How does that work?
In terms of
as a seller,
cost for us.
If I'm a seller and I come to you and I say I want to rank. I want some feedback on my new product and to help it get going. What's that going to cost me?
So for each unit given away, because you're still giving it away, and the feedback gotten from it, and this whole process of ranking. So for each unit we start at $9, and this can go down depending on how many and how complex is the process, but usually starts at $9. So when you do your math for a campaign, you should take the cost of the product, which is $20, add $9 my fee, and then that's the actual cost. But you get some of that back, because
you're getting it back as a sale.
As a sale, exactly. Yeah.
So how long does this whole process take? Typically, if I come to you and I say, okay, I got my product, I'm ready to go.
It's very different. I don't have a standard thing. Everything is custom. Each product, each campaign, everything is custom. So if your product is new, it might take 10 days. If your product is like 2 years old and you're trying to reboost, it might take one month, 4 weeks, depends. Everything is custom per keyword, per product. So we don't have just like a pattern, like take the CPR divided by 8 and do that every day. No, everything is custom. That's included also. The consultants for this is including also in that fee.
You've been in Helium 10 Elite for a while, right?
Over a year.
Over a year?
Yeah.
And you're pretty active. I mean, you do you come into the weekly meetings and everything. Can you talk about what the value of that is? As there's a lot of sellers, that are in Helium 10 Elite, and there's a lot of people that are listening to this that like, what is Helium 10 Elite? Well, Helium 10 Elite, as I explained at the beginning of the show, is for people who want that edge, that next level to help grow their business, and we provide a lot of stuff. But what do you get out of it when you come on, like either the monthly trainings or when you come on the weekly and the monthly one that I do, the Q&As and roundtables?
Well, I always like to say it. I get a lot of questions, this question too. So I always say it's my favorite mastermind. It's every week, like our calls, but that's just one part of it. So it's a very strong community of sellers that actually help. It's a lot of content from you and Bradley and all the other people in there. It's so that you have learning, you have networking, you can just like message everyone at every moment, asking them a question. And if they know, I've seen that they're actually sharing. So it's not like just, I don't care about this one. Like there are people out there doing that in other groups, but I didn't see that here. And I don't know. For me, it's. I stopped looking at everything else. I mean, I didn't search for other masterminds or stuff when I found the Elite. I think it's what... And also, you get all the new stuff and the good stuff from Helium 10 earlier than all the other people. And for example, for me, personally, the sales per keyword, which I get now in Cerebro and all the other tools, so the showing me the sales for each keyword, is a lot of help as a seller and as a service provider too. I bet a lot of agencies doing PPC would be interested in that feature.
And you're speaking here, so Helium 10, the Elite does a quarterly workshop every 3 months, sometimes in Irvine. This one, they're actually doing it here at Sell and Scale in Vegas. And you're speaking. Have you spoken at a lot of other events?
I've spoken at a few, like not that many, but I've spoken at a few. This might be my biggest audience so far, though, because I've seen a lot of cheers in the room. But I'm a little bit nervous. But I'm wearing pink because it's a strong color, and everybody is. They're saying they like it. So here we're speaking about something else, which is really cool. It's in regards with press articles, but I won't give up too much. So for the content to be here, but BDSS next year.
That's right. You're speaking at BDSS next year in Puerto Rico as well.
And we have one more very, very cool thing I want to share with you. We've been starting to doing user-generated content at AZRank. I've seen like the most beautiful photos and video from this like normal people. I don't know what. This is just an advice. I'm not telling you this just to have people come to me to do that. Just go to regular people, do your user-generated content. Don't necessarily go to influencer because they're so amazing, so genuine. It's incredible.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was just watching American football just yesterday on professional American football. And some of the commercials that people are paying $500,000 or $1 million for a 30-second spot. Now some of these big brands are using user-generated content in their as their commercial, their entire commercial. So they're realizing that, hey, we don't need to go out and spend $50,000, $100,000, $1 million shooting this fancy commercial. Let's just get it from our users. And some of them are really, really good, and it resonates better. And it's a big thing right now. And it's going to become a lot bigger. So that's cool that you're starting to get into some of that. Cool. Well, Alina, I really appreciate you stopping by here at the little table.
Thank you for having me.
Give us a little bit of insight. Just before you go, what's one quick little hack you could give the audience here? One quick little nugget of information that sellers out there should know?
There's a new way of doing A+, and I'm not talking about the A+ Premium, which is on everybody's lips right now. Go check Golly. Everybody knows who Golly is, like apple cider gummies from Golly. Check how their A+ is done right now. It's not like all kind of blocks. It's just 5 big blocks with everything in those blocks. It looks so much better. It's so much more natural for the human eye, and apparently smarter people than me say that converts a lot better. So that can be actually done like now.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks again for taking
you.
a few minutes here. Good luck on your talk today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. What's up? Next, just walking by, I just grabbed Abe Chomali. Abe just walked by and said, dude, you got to come on, because this guy is one of the smartest guys out there. He runs an agency. He does a lot of stuff in the space. Abe, super happy to see you here, man.
Well, thanks for having me. This is, I've been here for about an hour. I've seen 5 different people that I haven't seen in a year, and every conversation has been, like, great.
Do you get out to a lot of conferences, or do you pick and choose, or how do you pick and choose what to go to?
So I try to be in the room. I try to go to most conferences. My business is helping sellers with advertising, so I want to be in the rooms where sellers are at. I like to learn things from the speakers, because there's always a little bit extra something I can use to make my work run better. And I like to speak to sellers to see what things are affecting them, what things I might be able to help with, what things nobody can help with. Like, it's interesting to learn about sellers and selling from the viewpoint of the sellers.
So do you get more from listening to the presentations, or do you get more from the networking, or is it a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. And some events, the networking is much better. Some events, the speakers are off the charts.
What are you expecting here at Sell and Scale? What do you think? They're organizing this show a little bit differently than a normal show, with all the yoga and all the way they've got the scheduling and everything. What are you thinking? How this is gonna go?
So I've been playing with the app. They have that Huva app, if I pronounced it correctly. And part of what I did is try to build an agenda of the things to do. And I kept running into the error where the session I want is bumping into a session I already registered for. So that tells you a lot about the quality of the content. The speakers are great, and there are definitely speakers I haven't seen every other place. So that also says a lot.
And today, this is the first day, so the event actually hasn't started officially yet, but right before it, we're doing the Helium 10 Elite workshop. And how many of these have you been to in the past?
So this is actually going to be my first Helium 10 Elite. I became an Elite member a month ago. The trainings have been interesting. This in-person session promises to be excellent, and just overall, it's been a step up. Just like I try to be in every room, I try to learn from every resource, and Helium 10 Elite has been great for that.
Now, are you a seller as well, or are you just providing services through the agency?
So I only provide services for sellers. That said, I have about 30 years of selling experience. So I sold from 1991 all the way up through about 2018.
On Amazon?
Well, Amazon.
And e-commerce and...
Even before e-commerce. In 1991, there was no e-commerce.
That's true.
We used to advertise in the back of camera magazines with a big phone number and a list of items, and people would call us to have us send things to them.
So you've been doing direct response, basically, for a long time. The old way.
We call it mail order,
Yeah, mail order, direct response, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. That's my background, too. I've been doing it since college. Since, I think, 1988, I put my first ad in the back of a computer magazine or something to sell a bartending program.
Computer Shopper magazine.
Exactly. That was it.
Every month, the mailman would complain at the people who had to carry that 5-pound thing around.
It was huge.
Oh, yeah.
But that thing generated, that's still to this day, people still don't understand that business still exists. People think, all these young people think everything is on the internet, everything's on Amazon. But I have a business, I've talked about it before, that I still get 6 figures a year. It's seasonal, every holiday season, with checks and money orders in envelopes. People write out an envelope, put a stamp on it, and send it through the mail. And it just boggles people's minds. No, it still exists. One of my businesses, I sell a crap load on Amazon, and we sell a crap load by sending out a flyer through the mail to a mailing list, and those people send checks and money orders and envelopes.
Oh yeah,
back. It's big.
Yeah, the direct mail people are still in business, and they are still doing plenty of business. They're essentially what holds up the USPS at this point.
It is. It's even better than it used to be, because you and I know 30 years ago it got flooded, with mailing list, and people started calling it junk mail and stuff. But now a lot of people backed off of it, and now it's much more wide open, and you can stand out even easier than you could in the past if you know what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Are you still doing any of that at all?
I don't do it at all, simply because it has become so niche that I don't have the bandwidth to work on it. Amazon advertising is complex. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot connected to it, and that takes up my whole day from morning to night. When people want to talk to me about Google Ads, I have a guy for Google Ads. People want to talk to me about printing inserts, here's a guy for inserts. I know about all the things, just like I know about direct mail, but Amazon ads fills up my whole day.
So you're doing ads for like big companies, small companies? Is there a certain threshold they got to be at to actually work with you, or what do you specialize there in?
So I work with sellers from small to large. I work with top 100 sellers, and I work with people just getting their products off the ground. It takes a different skill set in each situation, and I have a built-out team that can help different sellers. The most common price point, or the most common selling point, is typically people doing about $100,000 to $300,000 a month in sales. Those sellers are typically the ones who have grown to the point where they might have been doing ads themselves. They built up a nice business. They've built up enough traffic that there are things to optimize. Whereas somebody who's very tiny, we're just starting at a point where Amazon doesn't even understand what their product is, and it's going to take a lot of spend for Amazon to figure that out.
Is it just Amazon, or you also do Walmart and some other platforms as well?
I do Walmart. Walmart is definitely in its early stages, and we're feeling it out. I've had conversations about this before with my team. I've had conversations with Walmart staff in which we try to figure out the things that are working and build on them, try to figure out the things which are not working and fix them. And it's still sort of, everybody's figuring it out, if that makes sense.
So if someone wants to find out more about your agency, how would they do that?
So the name of my company is XP Strategy, X like X-ray, P like Peter Strategy. You can find me at xpstrategy.com. I'm on all the social media places, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can message me in any of those places, and I'll be happy to talk about ads or troubleshoot or see if we're a fit.
So what's one thing that the audience listening that they're messing up in their PPC right now? And one thing that you see over and over, like, man, people just keep screwing this up. If they could just get this one thing right, it would make a huge difference whether they use an agency or not. What's one little trick or tip that you could share that would really help some people out there?
I'll actually give you two.
Awesome.
So the first thing is there isn't a clear organization. I go into lots of accounts that don't have portfolios set up, that don't have a clear naming structure set up so that you can easily tell all the campaigns associated with the product. Doing that first step of cleaning things up just so you can view how your account is doing makes an enormous difference right off the bat. The second thing is lots of companies who will have close variations of a product will all chase the same keywords instead of choosing which really is their hero product. In a lot of cases, there's only one product which is really going to take top of search or really have the best conversion rates among your 6 different SKUs that are similar. And they know which SKU that is, but they keep adding extra similar products. They keep adding a 4-pack and a 6-pack and an 8-pack, and they throw the same amount of money into advertising all those extra versions, when really the 1-pack will do best because it's the lowest priced, and it's what customers need the most. But to bring that example a little bit further, they'll say, wait, the 1-pack I make $1 after all my costs. The 6-pack I make $14. Throw all the ad money at the 6-pack. The problem is that although they see some sales for a 6-pack, they won't get clicks for a 6-pack because it's $79 while every other competitor is $14.95. You've got to bring the shopper to the page and then encourage them to spend more.
Awesome. Now, I'm going to see you again in just a few weeks. Something that Norm and I are doing, Collective Mind Society. We're doing an experiential mastermind at the F1 track, and you and your son are coming out, and you were just telling me a little bit about something just a second ago. I said, wait, let's talk about it on the AM/PM podcast. So that's going to be a really cool event. It's like 12 of us. We got this private cabana right on the top of turn 1. It's like first class all the way at the big F1 event. What are you looking forward to on that?
Oh boy, honestly, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is bonding with my son. Over the past year or so, him and tons of other people have become big fans of F1, and because he turned 21 around COVID, we didn't really have a chance to do a big age 21 thing. So this is our chance to do that, and he's been over the moon about it.
Oh, he's going to have a blast. I mean, we're going to he's going to have the best meal he's ever had. We're sitting in this kitchen at this one restaurant. Literally in the kitchen, they're serving us like a 9-course meal one night. The cabana is like totally first class with like amazing breakfasts and lunch, and it's got Wi-Fi and couches and everything. And there's no better way to do an event than the F1 than this. It's first class all the way. It's going to be amazing.
Listen, we are so excited. I mean, I've known you for years. I know that you do things the right way. I enjoy going to nice restaurants, and I know that I've seen you talk about the food experiences you've had. So I know that we're on the same wavelength with some of those things, and I'm really looking forward to experiencing it with you.
And I bet your son knows who Marshmallow is. Do you know who Marshmallow is?
So I know who Marshmallow is. He has seen Marshmallow, and when he saw the social media post that you put about sitting up close and personal with him, my son said, "This is going to be lit." I'm like,
yeah, we have a VIP table with bottle servers right in front of the stage. 10, 15 feet in front of the stage of this VIP event. So it's collectivemindsociety.com if anybody wants to check that out. I think there's 1 or 2 spots left as of this recording, but it's going to be an amazing time. But Abe, hey, I appreciate you stopping by my little table here at Sell and Scale.
I appreciate it, man.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Hey, look who it is. It's Edgar Hortado. Edgar, how you doing, man?
Good. How you doing, Kevin?
All right, man. So what are you here doing? What's going on, man?
Look, I'm out here helping out actually a friend, Alina, but I actually love Helium 10 and came out here to learn and network.
Awesome. Are you selling on Amazon? Or?
I've been selling about 6 years.
About 6 years? And how's it going for you?
It's going very well, actually. It was something we didn't plan on, but actually turned out to be a blessing.
What do you mean, something you didn't plan on?
Well, my wife owns a dog rescue, and every month I was dishing $1,000, $2,000 trying to, help the dogs and save dogs out of my own pocket. A friend of mine said, why don't you combine her story and create a product for Amazon? I was like, Amazon? And next you know, we started off with one product, and it's been life-changing ever since.
So let me back up a second. So you were running a dog rescue.
Yeah, we still are.
And you still are.
Absolutely.
Just taking dogs that might have been in an accident or stray dogs or
out of the shelter,
out of the shelters,
yes.
or just and then rehabilitating them.
Yes.
If you have to, and then finding them new homes.
Correct.
And then to do that, you were robbing Peter to pay Paul to help fund some of that.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was us who were funding it, and sometimes we get donations or things like that. But most of the time, we'd have to come out of pocket every month.
And then someone said, hey, if you just do this e-commerce little thing, you could probably fund this whole thing and make some real money and really take this to the next level. So how did you, what was your first product that you actually came up with?
It was just a dog toy, right? And I didn't know anything about Amazon, so I started doing a little research. A friend of mine helped us, and we just made some dog toy a little bit better. And we started in, I'll never forget this. We ordered our first product in August, got it sometime late October. We were sold out by December.
This was like 2016, 2017? 2017.
Yeah, and which was a great problem. And then we ordered a lot more and sold out again, and just kept adding different products, different SKUs, and we're up to like 15 SKUs and growing.
All dog toys, or have you expanded?
Dog toys, and now we're branding out different lanes.
Awesome. Do you mind sharing the name of the brand, or you want to?
I don't care. It's Pacific Pups Products.
Pacific
Pups
Products.
Yes.
Pacific Pups Products. That's awesome, man. So do you actually use that in the marketing and stuff, or a portion, or all the profits, or what percentage goes back to the?
A big percentage goes back to our rescue to fund it, and ever since we've been doing that, we've been growing also with the rescue, which is called Pacific Pups Rescue, and we've been like tied up with BuzzFeed now. We got a lot of celebrity actors that are helping out with what we're doing now, and yeah. So just to answer your question, most of the products that we sell, we give a big chunk back to the rescue.
That's awesome, man. I think that's an important thing that a lot of sellers miss. A lot of sellers get into this business, especially on Amazon, and thinking, I'm just going to make a bunch of money for myself, and they don't really care. But if you come up with a cause that people believe in, and by people buying a product that they need for their own purposes, like people are buying your toys for their dog, but at the same time, they're doing good for some other dogs, it resonates with a lot of people. And a lot of people just love the fact that they can be part of a community or part of making a difference. And that's something that a lot of people, when they're developing the products and their ideas, that they don't think about. And I think you kind of just fell into it in a way, but a lot of people should be thinking about, how can my product really give back and help, and it can make a huge difference, and people will support it and get behind it, and it can really take it to the next level.
And it has, since the story came out, and that's how I was saying. So BuzzFeed, like we do a lot of things with BuzzFeed through the rescue because of the donations, because of the story. My wife had a little show on Hallmark because of the rescue. But yeah, she's a huge animal rescuer, so it was her thing, like, we have to get back. And like I said, a large sum goes back for every purchase that we make monthly.
So you're doing 7 figures?
Oh, yeah.
Or 8 figures?
Close. Mid 6-7 mil a year last year.
That's incredible, man. Yeah. That's really awesome. How big of a team do you have now?
Just my wife and myself and one employee.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And everything made overseas, or are you making
everything overseas? We're looking into Mexico as we speak. Yeah, but right now everything is in China. We're looking to expand elsewhere because we're a little nervous about that in China, trying to get products. And like last year with the whole supply chain and things like that killed us. I mean, it absolutely destroyed us. But right now, yeah, to answer your question, everything's in China. Overseas.
So when your buddy said, hey, you should look into this Amazon thing 6-7 years ago, and did you take a course, or did you just throw something up? Or
no,
what did you?
It up. It was lucky.
Just threw it up.
Spaghetti in the wall and it stuck.
Yeah?
And it stuck. And then after that, just kept going and going and going. And we didn't know what we were doing. I mean, we didn't run a PPC campaign for the first 3. I didn't know what PPC was. For 3 years, I didn't run one PPC campaign, and our first, second, third product were first and second bestsellers for like 2.5 years.
So you literally just took the product, you found, hey, let's do this one toy, you found a supplier in China or wherever, you brought over 500, 1,000 of them, something like that, and just stuck it up there.
Absolutely.
And did nothing to launch it, nothing. It just... And just the story itself. So enough people found the story, and 1 or 2 people stumbled on it somehow, and then they said, this is really cool, and they probably told somebody else, and it kind of probably just organically expanded, and now you're crushing it.
Yeah, we're doing very well. And now I know Amazon, and I'm learning it, and I love the community, and I learned from you and other people, and I just love this community. At the same time, now we're trying to take this into being a real business the last few years, we got to learn this, retired my wife, retired myself, and this is what we do now, but at the same time, we just, man, it was amazing. Honestly, it's amazing.
That's incredible, man. That's awesome. That's a good job on that.
Thank you.
And you do it. It's a good cause. I'm a big dog lover myself, and I'm big into the dogs. I have some dog products myself, and that's awesome. So once you decided, wait, this is you threw the spaghetti on the wall, as you said, and it worked. And then you're like, holy shit! I need to actually learn this. What did you do? Start going to conventions. You start watching YouTube videos,
all of it. Well, YouTube podcast, listening to you, everybody. If you associate yourself with people that are already know what they're doing, then just copy what they're doing. That's what it is. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And if you have my whole thing in life is always just everything's based on relationships. Mm-hmm. So as I got into the community, I got accepted a little bit more, and I learned a little bit more. Now I can say a lot of these people are actually my friends. A lot of them are. And so you get bits and pieces from everybody, and if they see that you're putting the effort forward and you really want to learn a business, that's what happened. So we actually learn it, and you keep learning,
So what made you decide to come to this event?
Oh, Helium 10.
Helium 10. Come on now, right? Come on, it's Helium 10.
That's it, and just meet people, and like I said, help my friend Alina, but just learn and network. There's always a good community around Helium 10. I think they're one of the best tools out there. We use them tremendously all the time for everything that we do, and there's some good people around here. I'm just looking at all these faces out here. I'm like, man.
Where do you hope to take this? Where do you hope to take this? Do you hope to sell this at some point?
Well, last year we had like many offers on the table, from aggregators. And I was like, what's an aggregator, right? So, but we decided not to sell. We decided to expand a little bit more of the business and create different avenues, different lanes, and different products, not just toys. So who knows? We'll see.
Why did you decide to do that when you could have taken a bunch of money off the table, especially when the aggregators right now it's down.
Yeah.
But 2020 and 2021, it was like crazy multiples, and you could have taken some serious cash off the table and even reinvested that and done this again maybe. But why did you decide, hey, we're just going to stay the course? And what was that?
I'll tell you what it was. I think in October, September, there was a couple of offers on the table actually written. And I got a little bit greedy. I said, look, I want to run through Christmas and see if I can get the Christmas money. That's when we sell the most. And that's when we had an issue with our supply chain. So we didn't have any product for 3 months.
Oh.
Yeah, it killed us, Kevin.
So that'll kill your numbers. That'll scare them.
It didn't scare them, but they still offered us. But now they wanted to take it over the last 12 months. I'm like, the big company's not worth that. It's worth a lot more than that. Just because we didn't have supplies in for 3 months, the numbers dropped. And it's funny you even asked that question because I actually got a text from them about an hour ago. They still want to meet. I met with them in New York as well, too. They're always on there. Are you willing to, you guys ready? I'm like, it doesn't make sense for us now because if they're going to go over the last 12 years without making an exception, then why sell?
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of greed to answer your question. Should have sold.
Well, you never know. You always want to sell when you're on that. Yeah, when you win the Super Bowl, that's when you retire.
That's when you retire. You don't keep coming back.
You don't keep coming back. Well, some people do. Some people, if you're the GOAT, you keep coming back, and then you get divorced.
Yeah, there you go. Well, almost.
Yeah. Well, man, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate you stopping by and telling your story, man. So what's something out there that you think people that maybe they're listening to this that haven't started yet, or maybe they were kind of in your place 6-7 years ago. What's one little piece of advice you could give them?
Join a community that's already doing what you want to do and just copy. Get a lot of lessons from them. What the thing I found is that this Amazon community it's amazing. They're willing to share their information. Just get around somebody, join meetups, come to these conferences and just meet people, shake their hand, say, look, this is what I want to do. And some people will help you. Get the right information. There's a lot of bad information out there, but there's also a lot of good information. You just got to get it from the right people. So
cool.
That's pretty much it.
Well, congratulations, Edgar. Good job, man.
Appreciate it.
Keep up the good work. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
All right.
All right, I'm here right now with Martin Botero. Martin, you came in from Colombia, is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm from Colombia.
Which part of Colombia are you from?
It's a small city, really beautiful city with an awesome landscape. You can Google it. We have the best sunsets in the world. It's called Manizales.
Now, a lot of people, I always run into this problem because my wife is Colombian, as I've told you, told you before. And she's from Colombia, so I've been to Colombia like 20-something times. So I'm pretty familiar with Colombia. But the first thing that always comes to people's mind when you say Colombia is not coffee, it's something else.
I understand.
Doesn't that just get frustrating? I mean, because Colombia is a beautiful place with beautiful people, and a lot of people just totally misunderstand what the whole culture and the whole people of Colombia. So
for sure, I understand.
Does it get frustrating?
No, it really, it's a really beautiful thing to see your country prospering. Colombia is not the same today as what it was in the 90s. You can go and visit Colombia and you will find an awesome country too, with incredible cities like Cartagena, Medellin, Manizales, Bogota, and people are really welcoming, and that's what makes a country great. How heartwarming are the people, how well they receive you, and it's a country that has a lot to show to the world, to export. A lot of people I know that in the Amazon business are going to Alibaba to source their products from China or from Asian countries, but there's a lot of opportunities in South America, and Colombia for sure is one of them.
And Colombia has a lot of manufacturing, and they have a Medellin, for example. Some people don't know how to pronounce that. They say Medellin or something, but it's pronounced Medellin. That's a lot of people in e-commerce are based there. Americans and Europeans and Colombians, they go there. It's a huge city for tech and for e-commerce.
Medellin.
There's a whole community there that people don't realize that are just working from their apartments or working from cafes and stuff, doing e-commerce.
Yeah, Medellin is a great place to be. Probably one of the best cities for me in Colombia. It was actually awarded as the most innovative city in the world a few years ago. It has had a huge progress, and it's a great place to live in. For example, in my city is really close to Medellin, where I live. There's a lot of a big community of people from the US and Canada who go to teach there in schools, and it amazes me how they all buy houses because they say, okay, I want to stay here, living here because it's one of the best places, and they've lived all over the world because they've been teaching like in the Middle Eastern countries and in Asian countries, and they come to Colombia and they want to stay living there.
Yeah, they say what's that slogan? They say the only risk of going to Colombia is wanting to stay.
Yeah.
That's like the big slogan.
Yeah, exactly.
Your only risk is wanting to stay.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in e-commerce from?
Okay, so that's a great question. Thank you. Well, back in Colombia, I have an apparel brand. Mm-hmm. So I used to selling online. That's because it only sells online. But it's something that I have only for Colombian. It only sells in Colombia. So I have a little.
So online, what's the big e-commerce marketplace in Colombia?
It's growing. Amazon is gonna.
Amazon's going to be expanding there.
Expanding
but
there
right now, it's Mercado Libre, right?
Mercado Libre is the main website to buy online. Linio is another one, and it's growing. People are getting accustomed to buying online. That means it requires a lot of customer service online, like WhatsApp and this kind of channels of communication in order for you to help people feel confident about buying online, because they're still they feel it's a little bit shady. Sometimes they're not as used to as the Americans are to the e-commerce, but it's growing and people are getting more accustomed to it. And I have this Pearl brand back there. But I had a spare time, so I started Googling and I found the Project X in YouTube. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, no, I already have this background in e-commerce back in Colombia. I'm going to apply it in the US, and I'm going to get into the Amazon business.
And now you did the Freedom Ticket. You said you've been methodically going through everything, and now you're here at the Helium 10 Elite.
Exactly.
And the Sale and Scale event. So tell me, how's it been going for you? Are you still in the learning phase? Have you launched yet on Amazon?
Yeah. Okay.
Where are you at?
So I've been doing the Helium X and the Freedom Ticket step by step. There's a different points of view between how you approach business and the way Bradley.
There's no one right way.
There's no one right way, but I feel like your way of doing your advice. I'm putting more of your advice on the Freedom Ticket. Right now, I'm in the process of. I already have the brand. I already have the photos and the videos and everything. I have the listing ready in the listing builder in Helium X. And I'm waiting for my supplier to send the first batch of products to Amazon, so to ship them. I had to create an LLC here in the US, in Wyoming, as you recommended, with the Wyoming agents. It was really easy. It was awesome for me doing that from Colombia online. Like, it was really easy. So I'm in the starting phase. I'm in the starting learning phase yet.
So what are you hoping to get from an event like this? What are you here to network? You here to learn? You here for what's your main goal out of this event?
My main goal is to find a mentor, someone who's already really into this business, who's been in a lot of years selling through Amazon, who can help me out because I'm starting. That's one main goal that I have. Another goal that I have is to do a lot of network. I already met a lot of people, a couple of people that I doing the line in the registry. I had the chance to say hello to a couple of people that are coming to the Helium X to the event, so the Sale and Scale. So networking, finding a mentor, and getting. I'm really invested in doing this right. Because I'm not thinking of doing some spare money. I want to build something in the long term. So I want to do things right. So I'm investing. This is a lot of money for me, actually, because when you with the currency exchange back from Colombia, it's really hard
right now. I mean, when I was dating my wife 12 years ago, when I first met her, the exchange rate was like that's 1,600 pesos to $1, and now it's like 4,000 something.
4,500.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the dollar is so strong compared to the Colombian peso right now. It's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. So yes, it's about. You gotta invest. Even if I'm dreaming of this, I'm trying. I want to build something great. I wanna make a living out of it. So I thought that I had to invest in this in order to. I need to get to know the people that are in this business in order to understand it better.
So what do you think the big challenge is for people that aren't from the United States to sell in the United States? People like English is not your first language. You speak good English, but English is not your first language.
No, it's not my first language.
So what is the big challenge for a lot of people that when they decide, hey, this looks like an awesome opportunity, but it scares the pants off of me because I'm going to have to invest my whole $5,000 savings, or I don't quite understand the culture in the U.S. or how the things work. What are some recommendations you would give to people that might be thinking that?
Yeah, so basically, language barrier, it's quite of a challenge. But Helium is already has the Spanish version, and there's also the podcast, the Bradley's podcast in Spanish that will help you understand better this.
And Freedom Ticket's subtitled in Spanish too.
Yeah, it's subtitled in Spanish. Yeah, you're right. But I think one of the main things is that, like, if you're in Colombia when you're in your office, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna start selling and managing everything in the US. Like, how do I create a company? How do I manage my accounting? Like, I know how to do that in Colombia, but it seems like the taxes and everything, it's a little bit overwhelming. Everything that you will have to manage in a country that's not your country. You don't have anyone there to ask a question to directly. That's the part that I feel is more overwhelming. But I've been doing your Freedom Ticket step by step, and that's why it feels like I've been able to manage everything so far, right? So as I told you before, I managed to form my LLC company in Wyoming. That feels so bizarre for me. Like, I'm from Colombia, Wyoming. I had to Google in Maps. Google where is my Wyoming. You know, it's kind of bizarre, but you're giving everything so how do you say, like, easy, you know, step by step. So if you follow the courses, the Freedom Ticket courses, you're gonna find out the answer for all these steps, and that's been really a relief for me. So for me, it's kind of take the time to follow the courses, take notes, go back. If you don't remember something, go back to it, and you will remember, and they will give you the answer. You will give them the answer.
And the thing about Freedom Ticket too is it's free. So this is not some course we're charging $5,000 or something for. If you have a Helium 10 membership at any level, it's included at no extra charge.
Yeah.
And it's like 60 hours of training. It's me plus a lot of extra other people that know a lot more than me on certain subjects that are coming in and doing stuff as well.
Yeah.
And then we have the Helium 10 Elite, which is the next step up. So you decided to really go in. You decided to do the beginning course, and let me go to the advanced level at this, which is the Helium 10 Elite, which is what the conference you're about to go in for 3 hours here, where they're going to be talking at advanced level.
Exactly.
Do you understand everything that they're talking about since you haven't fully launched yet, or is it just like, okay, now I'm seeing the big picture. Some of this other basic stuff is now making sense, and now I'm understanding the path I have to take. Is that what it's helping you with?
Well, yeah. Like, sometimes when I'm going through courses, I know this is important, I pay attention to it, but I kind of take notes because I know I'm going to have to get back to it in the future. I'm not in that stage yet, but I will have to get. But it's good to know that there's to know where you can find information, where you can find in which part of the courses you can find something you're going to need in the future.
Awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck with everything, man, and keep working hard. You get a great chance of doing really well.
Thank you. It's really, really, really cool to meet you.
Awesome, man. Enjoy the rest of the conference. We got so much amazing stuff at the Helium 10 Elite workshop at Sail and Scale that we're going to actually do a second part of this. So next week, make sure you come back and check out part 2 of our hacks from Seller Sessions and the Helium 10 Elite workshop. It's going to be another great episode next week with some brand new guests. There was just too much to cram it all into one episode, so hopefully I'll see you then. And don't forget to mark your calendars again for November 3rd. That's when we'll be doing a free webinar for everybody. We're going to be sharing a lot of hacks and tips and strategies from the Helium 10 Elite. And so hopefully we'll see you on that webinar on November 3rd. It's a totally free webinar open to everybody. Look for a post in the Facebook group soon, or look for an email coming your way with a link to sign up for that. So I hope to see you next week. But before we go, just a little quote to remind you, like I'd like to do at the end of every single episode. You know, right now it's a bad time out there. There's a recession going on. Prices are going up. There's a lot of people having trouble in their business. Businesses going out of business. But sometimes these are the times when fortunes are made. The rich know that downtimes are some of the best opportunities and the best times. And so I hope you're able to take advantage of that as well. But as Warren Buffett once famously said, it's only when the tide goes out that you learn who's been swimming naked. These are the times when you really find out who's got a core business and who is strong and who is weak and was just limping along and kind of faking it. So as Warren said, it's only when the tide goes out that you learn who's been swimming naked. See you again next week.